We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Hello and welcome to High School Famous, the podcast that doesn't make you feel like a loser for being in high school. It can make you feel like you're cool. I'm Matt.
Hello, I'm Sean.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm like, yeah, you're Sean. Good job, you.
Yeah, of course. If you gave an intro just now, I didn't hear any of it. So
cool. I did.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun to listen back to and hear it for the first time like everyone else.
Yeah.
Because you cut out 100% and then you said, I'm Matt. And then I knew to say I was Sean, which is awesome. So good.
Yeah,
good on
well,
you
know, as usual, my internet's amazing. So
right. You could have switched by now.
It's been working great all week.
All week.
It's as soon as we start, and like up until this moment, up until I hit record, it was fine. As soon as you like jumped on, then it was like it was just
so something's up with maybe it's up with our service here.
No, I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's just my internet can't handle doing usage. Video calls.
Yeah, maybe
I stream fine. I can stream stuff all day long.
Yeah, maybe it's the combo of up and down. I don't know.
Yeah,
because you're uploading your video and you're downloading my video at the same time. Like you're streaming my video feed or whatever.
Maybe it would help if I hide myself.
Oh, maybe. So how's?
I mean, you can still see me. You're moving fine. Yeah, everything's fine.
I see you. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll try that. We'll see if that helps.
Yeah. Matt doesn't look at himself, even though it must be hard. You must be
not looking at myself.
Trying to scratch an itch right now,
Well, I mean, I can still do that because I can still feel where it is on me. I don't have to see myself to be able to.
No, I'm not
an
saying
itch.
that you use a mirror to find an itch on your body. I'm saying you have this ever-present need to look at yourself, and that's the metaphorical itch you're trying to scratch.
Gotcha.
Now you're out of your own sight, so you must be struggling.
I could pull my camera up on my phone, and then
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
a lot of ways.
I could put a mirror in front of me.
Hey, let's cover one tiny little thing that once again establishes that we often do not know what we are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up a rules lawyer.
Okay.
So it actually makes this I forget something Chuck Tingle, was that his name?
Yeah.
It makes that one story a little less out there. But a rules lawyer is a participant in a rules-based environment who attempts to use the letter of the law without reference to the spirit, usually in order to gain an advantage within that environment. The term is commonly used in wargaming and tabletop role-playing game communities, often pejoratively, as the rules lawyer is seen as an impediment to moving the game forward. The habit of players to argue in a legal fashion over rule implementation was noted early on in the history of Dungeons and Dragons. Rules lawyers are one of the player styles covered in Dungeon Master for Dummies. The rules of the game Munchkin includes various parodies of rules lawyer behavior. So it's someone who's they're so stuck on the rules of these games like D&D that it will get in the way of, it'll hold up the story moving along because they're they're too heavily focused on these rules. So that T-Rex in that previous story was not a lawyer. He just happened to be on the cover of the book with a suit for no particular reason.
Right.
But the question still remains, if the T-Rex is a rules lawyer, why would it be fun to bring him into a group playing D&D? Why would he think that would be fun?
Yeah.
Maybe because he wants to just see his friends get frustrated?
Did he know he was a rules lawyer ahead of bringing him to the game? Like maybe he met this T-Rex and he was like,
he just thought he was fun,
and they hit it off, and they're like, "Oh, I play D&D," or it wasn't even called Dungeons and Dragons; it was called something else.
I think it was Devils and Dragons.
Devils and Dragons. Like they hit it off because they both play the game, and he's like, "Oh, I got why don't you come play with us? And then as soon as they start playing, they're like, oh, this was bad. This guy's
like, then he's
a
like,
total T-Rex rules lawyer.
And then the guy's like, I know what'll fix this guy. A hardcore gay T-Rex encounter or whatever. So he tried to save the maybe he brought in he unknowingly brought in this complicated player, and then he tried to fix the matter by taking one for the team, so to speak, by slowly removing his armor. Again, this is all speculation. Not Matt. Neither Matt nor myself have read this story by Chuck Tingle, so we can't speak intelligently about what happens. We are merely speculating based on the artwork on the cover and the title of the story and the short little synopsis that we read last episode.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, if you go off of the artwork too, he's not really a T-Rex. It's like a T-Rex centaur kind of situation where it's like the head of a T-Rex, but the body of a human. Yeah.
Which is very common in this guy's stories to have some sort of human animal hybrid. But he was just labeled a T-Rex in every time he was mentioned. So that's another thing that's yet to be seen in the story itself. Is this
it's hard to tell if he was just only had a T-Rex head, or was there other parts of him that were T-Rex? Like, did he have a T-Rex tail?
Maybe
you couldn't tell from the artwork. So
I mean, as we saw in the show Dinosaurs, the dinosaurs did often they tended to grow up in sort of human-like family structures with a house and children and in a baby chair, and they wore clothes to work and hard hats and things like that. So it's not new, the concept of a dinosaur wearing human-like clothes and going to work, and him having a somewhat upright human-esque like body that would fit those. But we know T-Rexes are famous for their very, very short arms, and that image of that T-Rex in the suit did not have, at least the sleeves were a regular length on his jacket, his suit jacket.
I believe we saw his hands.
Did we? Okay.
It would have been funny if they would have done a Photoshop of like little human arms.
Yeah, and they cut off the sleeves of the suit. He has a suit specially tailored for his short arms,
for his little short human arms.
That would have been good too. Human arms.
Dude, speaking of that show Dinosaurs, that show had a dark ending.
Do you know the ending of the show Dinosaurs?
I only know the ending of it because I had watched like a thing where it was a bunch of like shows that had really like dark endings.
Oh, okay.
That show had a dark ending, dude. Like it ended with the like meteors coming to wipe out the dinosaurs at the end. And there was like the newscaster came on and was talking about the meteors were coming and stuff. And like the family was like, the dad was like apologizing to the family that he didn't do better or he couldn't help to stop it and all this shit. It was just like,
that's sad.
What the fuck? And then I think it just went like, went to like static or black. Yeah. Messed up for, lighthearted comedy.
Family. Yeah. It's a lighthearted
live action show.
Family comedy show. I think it was on ABC maybe, or was it on TGIF? What station was TGIF? Was that NBC or was that ABC?
I don't recall.
Because it was whoever had like Full House and Step by Step and Family Matters and that stuff. I think it was the same network as those shows. So I think that was under TGIF. But yeah, you have these dumb jokes. The whole the only thing I remember from the show is the baby always calling the dad not the mama. That was his name for. He wouldn't call him dad or dada. He would say not. He would
like hit him in the head with like a spoon or something.
Yeah, and there was some older kid that was probably a teenager
of that show.
Yeah, there was some older kid that was probably in high school or something. A dinosaur that was going through typical teenage high school stuff as a dinosaur.
Yeah,
I suppose that's the most natural conclusion you could write in for a show about dinosaurs is their extinction. What history wrote it for them, but.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the last episode went. If there was, I'm sure there was a lot of comedic things in it, but that seems like a really harsh, dark, scary turn for that type of a show.
I was trying to look up a thing so I could read exactly what happened, but it's just a YouTube clip
of the final scenes or something.
I'm gonna try to find it. to read exactly like what happened, but it's so screwed up. Yeah. Oh my God, go away. I hate websites that immediately are like have crazy like pop-ups for you to sign up for something. It's like, I just want to read the damn article. Leave me alone.
Oh, I know. Anytime it's a site that sells things, they'll pop up with some get 15% off your first order by signing up with your email.
Yeah.
Just let me read what I came here to read, and then let me go away.
Okay, so it says, Dinosaurs' final episode, Changing Nature, begins with the characters awaiting their annual arrival of the bunch beetle, an insect that lives on an invasive creeping poppy. But the swarms don't show up. One beetle does, but he's lost. Charlene leads him to the swamp where the bunch beetles mate, only to find that We Say So Corporation, why did I have trouble saying that, has paved over it and put up a wax fruit factory with no beetles to cut back the poppies. The plants get out of control, and We Say So is blamed. The solution: spray the land, foliation, kill the poppies. This is a long backfires. All plant life and is killed, and We Say So couldn't be happier. Okay. Since it specializes in processed foods and no real nutritional content, but it decides the plants will grow again if they can just make it rain. And how do you make it rain? Drop bombs in a volcano, of course. But volcanic clouds aren't the same as rain clouds, and the volcanic ash blocks out the sun. The earth gets rapidly colder, and the episode ends with the entire Sinclair family sitting in front of the TV freezing to death. Okay, so I was wrong about the meteor thing.
Whoa.
But basically there's like a cold, like it's basically
like
a winter.
It's an ice age
comes through, or a cold spell comes through. And that's, I think, basically what happens.
Well, yeah, when you started getting into all the stuff about the bunch beetles, I'm like, what is all this stuff with the plant life and the bugs not coming because of a paved over area? What's this have to do with meteors hitting the earth? It's kind of,
I was mistaken. I just remember it ending in like a tragedy, but I mistaked which tragedy it was. So an ice age basically wipes. They're just standing in front of the TV, and like the newscaster like signs off, and they're just sitting there freezing, and that's the end of the show.
Wow! So the dinosaurs caused their own demise. Is that? Are we supposed to look?
And I think that's why he was like apologizing to the kids. Are
we supposed to look at that and say and look, use that as a mirror to our own?
Yeah, it's a metaphor. Mm-hmm.
Wow, very heavy tones.
Like, look how the dinosaurs destroyed their own planet. Yeah, even though that's not at all what happened, and I don't think they really had any causes to their own extinction to that extent.
I don't think you need to isolate that as the fictional part of the show Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute. This part, but very, very heavy subject matter.
There's a lot of shows like that are like, there's a lot of shows that do that. I've had a list of like shows that had super dark endings here, but some of them are shows that are probably a little bit more like, a screwed up ending kind of makes sense.
Sure.
But like How I Met Your Mother is in here. But it's like that show, we already knew that the mom dies. I think everybody's just irritated as to like how quickly the whole thing kind of ended. Oh, the show Alf apparently had a really messed up ending.
Alf, huh?
Yeah.
You think about it, he's an alien life form, so they could have gone anywhere with that show.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently he was trying to contact his family's spaceship, only to get caught by the freaking U.S. military. Last image everyone saw of the cat eating.
Yeah, he always talked about how he liked.
Yeah, but that's how they described him, as the cat eating.
There's got to be more.
Somehow hairy space abomination it's a screenshot above. It's just him with a bunch of like luggage and a bunch of military guys surrounding him, and it just says the words "to be continued," and that's how the show ended.
Oh, well, that's not necessarily dark. They could be, they'll probably do experiments on him or study him, but
oh yeah, no, he's fucked.
Maybe maybe they're just going to ask him some questions. Maybe it's just some line of questions they're going to give. And then they're just trying to get information about his homeworld and their technology and stuff like that.
Nah.
Then they're going to go after that, not him specifically.
Nah.
But wouldn't they go after the family that was like housing him that whole time?
It depends if the military knows that family was housing him, and if they can make him talk.
Wait, how do you give
it up?
How do you get caught? He didn't get caught in the house?
No. He was trying to get home by contacting his family's spaceship.
And the military was just hanging around the area?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't give me a lot of information here.
I'm going to guess that there was a little bit of intelligence that would have maybe pinpointed, or he's about.
Yeah, I'm sure we'd have to watch the episode.
And I'm not going to watch the final episode of a show without watching everything else before it. So
yeah, you're gonna have to watch the whole thing.
I'm going to have to watch. How many seasons did Alf run?
I don't know. Am I going to start looking up Alf facts now?
Sure. All
right, here we go.
Better to do.
We're gonna. I mean,
right now.
I guess not. All right, let's get on Alf TV series Wikipedia.
I mean, remember, Matt, not very different from the dinosaurs' demise. You brought this upon yourself.
Yeah. Do you remember what Alf stands for, Sean?
I mentioned it a few moments ago. Alien life form.
Oh, I didn't. I don't listen to you.
I said he's an alien life form.
Which is not good for a podcast.
No, it's not. It's the opposite of good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up with a term.
Let's see here. Episodes. It ran for 4 seasons.
Okay, but we're probably talking 22 some episodes a season.
26 episodes for the first 3 seasons, 24 for the last season.
So that's still over 100, or is that exactly 100? No, that's over. That's over 100.
101,
102?
right?
102. Wait, 26 for the first 3 seasons?
Oh yeah, 102.
Yeah, so 78 plus 24. Yeah, 102.
There you go. 102 episodes.
All 21, 22 minutes apiece, unless they had some special like hour-long episodes of Alf. But and some might be, I wouldn't put it past them to have at least one of those be a clip show, which could be skippable. But we're still looking at a lot of time dedicated to the show Alf. So many of those shows that I watched growing up, I don't think I ever saw the ending to them. Like, I don't think I saw the series finale of Family Matters or Full House or Alf or Dinosaurs, obviously. So that's funny. I mean, I remember seeing the Seinfeld finale.
Yep.
But then a lot of shows, like, I think it was more common, or I think it was more used to shows that I watched getting canceled.
Right.
And having a proper ending. But I don't remember seeing the ending to, say, like, I might have seen the ending to Fresh Prince.
Possibly.
Because they had a couple, like a year ago or so, they did a reunion where they all gathered. They like put the set of their house back together, and they all gathered and basically just went over memories and whatnot. And they showed a couple clips from the last episode, and they looked familiar. So I think I had seen that. They moved or something, so the house was all empty, and then
that's the thing with almost every show around that time. It's like, how do you end this thing? They move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air if they're not in Bel-Air anymore.
Right.
Can't be a full house if they're not in a tiny house.
Like, that's how Friends was like, oh, we're moving. Everybody's moving. Let's say goodbye to the apartment.
Yeah, I guess if so much of the show is anchored in those apartments, mainly the one that was Rachel and Monica lived in, and then Joey and Chandler were across the hall or whatever.
Mm-hmm. They
weren't in their place as much, right? They were mainly in the Rachel Monica one.
Yeah, probably like a 60-40, 70-30 kind of split. If I were
so 2 different splits.
One of those two.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. But then they also spend time in Central Perk. They spend time at Ross's place. Did they ever go into Phoebe's place? I'm sure they did.
Mm-hmm.
You were yes, of course they did. You were very quick to know that.
Dude, I've seen Friends. And you know how my brain works. I remember it vividly.
You remember your brain vividly?
I remember Friends facts vividly.
Ah, yes. Okay. What was Joey's?
I've seen it at least once.
What was Joey's famous catchphrase?
Everybody knows that. If you know that, everybody knows that.
I chose a not particularly obscure question to test your knowledge.
How is it that you are doing? That's what he would say.
Yeah. He was very formal and proper, Joey Tribbiani.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph. He went by Joseph, actually.
Yeah.
It irked him that all of his friends called him Joey.
Yeah.
But I think he just loved them so much that he let it go. But inside, it was troubling him. And he used that to fuel his performances while in auditions or acting for various projects. And from what we can tell, Phoebe's only source of income was playing guitar at the coffee shop.
No, she was a masseuse.
Oh, she was a masseuse. Oh, I thought she got all her money from playing guitar, which is not realistic, especially living in New York.
I'm actually surprised at myself for pulling that bit of information out so quickly.
Yeah,
wait, what is she? Masseuse.
Yeah, you have to know.
I could have totally fucking just made that up, and you would have been like,
said anything, and I would have been, oh, okay. I didn't know that.
She was a puppeteer.
Yeah, well, a much more lucrative profession, puppeteer. Let's go from busking at a coffee shop to puppeteer. That's how you move up in the entertainment world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Muppets were still pretty big then. It's the 90s.
Yeah.
So, get a regular gig at doing something with the Muppets. Sesame Street is still on the air.
I mean, you could do that. I don't think she was, Muppeteer caliber, but
no, maybe she's what's that one with that has Friends in the title? I think it has Friends. No, what is it? It came back recently on Apple. Some Muppet type of show that was, I guess, on before, and they brought it back.
I have absolutely no idea.
I'm going to find out. I think
Crank
you know
Anchors?
What it is. No, Crank Anchors. Dude, quiet. Crank Anchors. I'm pretty sure you know what it is because I think you mentioned.
Oh, you're talking about Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock, yes, that's back.
Okay, that's also Jim Henson. So,
but are they called Muppets?
All that shit's fucking Jim Henson.
But are they called Muppets?
No, it's not, but they're. I guess not.
Muppeteer for Fraggle Rock if she's not working because you said she's not Muppeteer material.
Yeah,
maybe.
Sesame Street was freaking Henson too. So they're not Muppets.
So I mentioned Sesame Street.
Yeah,
but when I mentioned those things, you're like, yeah, he's not Muppeteer material. Like she's not at that level. So then I tried to seek some other sort of puppet based shows. What about the king, or prince or whatever on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Oh yeah,
maybe
she could handle that. Yeah. That's just a hand puppet.
Yeah. Now we know where she worked.
There's not a lot of extra stuff. Yeah.
Now we know where Phoebe worked. She worked for.
She wasn't
Mr.
Jim Henson level. She was. Yeah, she's more so Mr. Rogers level.
Fred Rogers. Was that show still on when Friends was
on
at that
time?
Yeah, I don't know when Mr. Rogers ended.
Oh boy, I guess I'm just gonna keep looking at more stuff on.
Hey,
Let's see. Mr. Rogers. Well, he passed away. He passed away in 2003. So, Friends ended in, I think, when did Friends end? I'm going to have to look that up too. Let's see.
Mid-2000s? I don't know. It started off mid-90s, right? Wasn't it like 97 or something?
I thought it ran from, oh God. Hold on. I'll look it up in just a second. I'm trying to see how long Mr. Rogers ran for.
Yeah, do that first. I'll come up with more questions.
Come on. What the hell? Let's see here. Television. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood ran until 2001.
Oh, but Friends was on the air already. They were definitely 90s. They started somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah, I thought that's when Friends ended too, but
so then she could have
started. But Friends ran for 10 years. Let's see here. This is fun for the listeners. Just tell me air dates. Why? It was 236 episodes. Cool. Okay, it started. Oh, it was 94 to 2004. It was way earlier than I remember it starting.
That's when Friends ended and started?
Yep, it started in 94 and ran till 2004. So she could have very well worked for Mr. Rogers.
Now, there's another thing we need to figure out before we can say this confidently. She maybe lived in New York City, or I'm assuming New York City, but Central Park you would assume is near Central Park, and that is in New York City, right? Or is that in another part of New York? I don't know.
It's in Manhattan.
Okay, Manhattan. The question now is, where was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood shot? I would imagine that was in Hollywood. So where is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Where is the neighborhood itself?
Well, I guess where was the show made? Because if it was made in the West Coast, she's not flying out to California every week and just coming back to New York for weekends to hang out with her pals.
Dude, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood ran from 1968 to 2001. Wow. That is crazy.
33.
That's crazy.
How would you describe it, Matt?
I would describe that as crazy. How many episodes is that? 912 episodes, including specials. Oh my God.
I'm going to look something up.
That's crazy. It was produced in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh? Oh, so she could have jaunted over to Pittsburgh? That's not unrealistic.
Yeah, why not?
If the money's good enough. And you know that king was in every episode, I think.
I mean, as far as we knew as kids when we were watching it, like, but you know who knows? Who knows when that character was first introduced?
The king guy?
Yeah,
it was just a king, right? Was there a queen too? There had to have been a queen puppet.
I think so.
So she probably did both puppets. Maybe someone else did the voice of the king, but she puppeted both. I bet. You know, 2 hands, 2 puppets. But only paid one puppeteering job. They were cheap like that. It was a low budget show.
Right. I'm trying to. This is interesting. Oh,
so
he had guests sometimes, and they ranged from cellist Yo-Yo Ma to actor and bodybuilder Lou Ferrigno. That's where it ranged.
How can you range from one person to another person? Like, how is that a range?
I think it's just like, look at like the types of different people. This type of person or this type of. It's 2 different types. It's not like a large range.
We've had 2 types of celebrities on as guests:
cellists and guys who played the Incredible Hulk.
Is that all that Lou Ferrigno was? Was he like a bodybuilder or a wrestler before that?
Yeah, he was a bodybuilder.
I knew. Okay,
hold on. I'll click on his link.
Well, let me interject and let me
do whatever you're about to say.
Let me contribute some facts to this episode. Why don't you, Mr. Rogers? Mr. Rogers has more episodes than The Simpsons. The Simpsons.
Well, he's been running a lot longer.
What I did the math. You said 1968 to 2001 or 3?
Yeah, it's 31 seasons. 1968 to 2001. It said 31 seasons, so it must have taken.
Okay,
some time
so that's
off.
even less because I said 33 years.
Right.
So only 31 seasons. Simpsons, I believe, is on a higher season count than Mr. Rogers.
Why?
But but The Simpsons, according to this, as of May 22nd, 2022, has 728 episodes.
Okay.
I don't think they count the movie in this, but and I don't know if that counts the little shorts that were on the Tracy Ullman show before they became an actual show.
Right.
But it says 728 episodes, and it first aired.
That was like 89 or something.
Debut,
wasn't it?
Yeah, December 1989. So 2021, or it's 2022 now, but it hasn't been a full year. What? So 32 years. So one less. I suppose it has been one less year than Mr. Rogers, but they got 200 episodes to make up to catch up with Mr. Rogers in the same amount of time.
Yeah,
they're not going to do it.
You want to know a show that they'll never catch up with?
Bonanza? Was that a long-running show?
There's a show. There's an English show called EastEnders.
Oh, I've heard of that.
That debuted in 1985, and it's still on the air.
Sure.
And they currently have 6,502 episodes.
How long are the episodes?
I believe they're
like half hour.
I believe they're 30-minute episodes. Yeah.
So
6,000.
So 1985, you said?
Yep.
So we're looking at 37 years.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Oh, okay. Never mind.
It's like 175 episodes a year.
I was going to say, if they had an episode every single day for those 35 years, that would be over 13,500 episodes. So them being at 6,000 is not crazy.
It's reasonable.
For that amount of time.
But they have very long seasons.
That just shows you. The Simpsons, Mr. Rogers, like they are barely trying to. They can't even keep up by a long stretch.
No. Like so there was a woman who just recently passed away that had been on that show since the first episode, and she had been in. I don't know if she had been in every single episode, but she'd
been there from the beginning.
She had been there from the beginning. Like that was her job. She was on that show. She was a fairly main character.
She got it. I'm sure she got it when she was like 20 or,
No, she was already in her.
Oh, I suppose, she would only be in her 50s then. So never mind.
I'm going to look her up. June Brown. She died in January of 2020.
Oh, so she missed all that. She missed the COVID stuff. She never had to go through that.
Lucky her.
Jinx.
Let's see. She was born in 1927. She was 95 when she passed away.
So born in 27. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
She was already in her 50s when she started the show.
I think across the pond they're a little more open to hiring older actors than here for new things.
Yeah, it's like here they just hire young people and then CGI them to make them look old.
Yeah, and then
when they need an old person for a movie.
And if they're liked enough, if they want them to be young, they'll just CGI them to be young.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't hire children or old people.
Nope.
It's all be like 20s to early 30s.
Yeah.
And then otherwise you're unemployable in the movie field. Anyways, as an actor.
Yeah, you could work at other jobs.
Yeah.
Like you could be a track star.
Be a puppeteer.
You could be a Muppeteer. If you put in enough
if you're good enough.
You work long enough, you move up to Muppeteering.
Yeah, you have to have the right hands.
Yeah, and mouth shape.
No, Sean, you don't know.
You have to have your eyes, your head has to be like a sort of squished down circle, and you have to have your ears sticking out. You have to have big round eyes with black irises and pupils.
No.
And your whole head has to like open up almost like it's a book. And the top of your head has to flap up and down as you talk. Your bottom jaw doesn't lower and raise. Your top of your head goes up and down.
That's not a requirement to be a Muppeteer. That's what a Muppet is.
You have to have metal rods sticking out of your wrists.
No.
Just so your arms can move around.
No. And, no, sweetheart, you're getting it wrong.
You have to have no internal organs because you have to have room for a hand.
Oh, that would be horrible. I can't imagine not having internal organs. Because I wouldn't be able to. Because I would be dead.
Yeah, I mean, aren't there instances where someone's born?
Can I put that in my will that when I die, I want to be hollowed out and turned into a puppet? I want to be hollowed out and turned. Yeah,
I think you could put whatever you want in your will. It's a matter of how much trouble do you want to put anyone who's going to take care of these matters for you? Like, how much do you want to put them through?
Yeah, go ahead.
What would be your end goal for becoming a puppet? I doubt anyone's going to use you for anything.
I don't know. I just think it'd be funny.
Sure.
There was a comedian. This reminded me. There was a comedian who said when they died, they just want the bottom half of their body cremated, and then they want when they want to be put in the casket, open casket, and the top half of them dressed up like a genie, and then the ashes like spread down to a lamp.
Okay. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So, but then there's a casket though. So but so you're going to be in the casket like that and just be buried that way?
Yeah, why not?
That's what they want. Yeah, I could see that. But usually, open caskets, don't they typically have just like the top half open? It's not the entire thing. Usually,
I think it depends. No, I think a lot of times it's the full.
Is it?
Yeah. You must haven't been to enough funerals. Like, I gotta step up my funeral game.
Yeah. Funerals. Yeah, it's been it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years
since 10 years since you've gone to a funeral.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It unfortunately has not been that long for me. I think the last one I went to was 3 years ago now.
I should say this. It's been 10 years since I've been invited to one.
Please come to my funeral.
You send out invites?
Funny thing about a funeral is you don't have to be invited to go to them.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you might get dirty looks if people don't want you there and you show up.
Well, yeah, but that's on them.
Yeah, it is. Or it could be on you for the reason you're getting the dirty looks. It could be on you.
True.
And I like the whole idea, like you show up to pay your respects or whatever, but the person that the whole arrangement is for has no idea and will not know and will have no idea.
Unless you believe in like
hanging out at your own funeral,
the afterlife and all that, and being able to look down on people and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I look down on people now, and I'm alive, so I don't think that that's a part of religious belief, is being able to look down on people. I mean, not to say that some do already or don't. I mean, it's kind of something that I'm not saying anything specific, but some followers of religion have the tendency to look down on others that don't feel the same way. And but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about floating above and looking physically down at those around you mourning your passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything to comment on the other thing I was sprinkling in there?
I have nothing to add to that, Sean.
Okay. It's probably safe.
You know that I had to walk away for a moment and made you vamp.
It's probably safe that you don't want to, put your finger on that hot button anyway. So,
do you think it's weird though that like in quote unquote ghost form? So say we die and you become a ghost.
Sure.
Whether you can be like a astral projected ghost or whatever the heck, if people can see you, all this kind of stuff. Isn't it weird that as soon as you become a ghost, you can just float around? You're not restricted to the same like things you had to deal with as a physical form.
You don't have to deal with gravity or
you're still not like held down by anything. You're just like
Well, isn't the whole idea that you ascend up, and so that's why the spirit is held down by the physical form, which has to obey the laws of physics and all that, whereas the spirit, once is released, is not constricted by those very rules. So
it's all very sciencey.
Yeah, quite. I think it's odd that we like to think that a ghost, quote unquote, will have some bit of appearance or physical attributes that resemble the person that it resembles the body essentially. Like if you're a spirit and you can float around and do whatever you want, are you going to like having arms and legs and eyes and all the same things that the human body has?
I mean, I don't know. I think I guess it depends on if you feel your spirit is still the embodiment of who you are. So if it's who you are, is it still going to have your physical features, or are you just going to be like a cartoon ghost and have like
a head, but just a sort of orbish floating body? I mean, you don't need legs, so you don't need legs to move around, to walk around.
You don't need them, but...
And you could argue that who's to say it's confined to one shape or form? Like you could, if you needed to extend part of you out, you could just sort of, a section of you could just sort of stretch out and, knock something over and then contract back into your orb form.
Yeah.
Because
why isn't that ghosts like to knock stuff over?
Well, they're trying to get your attention, and they have to muster up a lot of energy to try to communicate.
What good is it? What good is it to get my attention? Okay, you have my attention now. You knocked that over. You still can't communicate with me in any way, unless you're going to write on a foggy mirror.
Well, a lot of time, you just have to wait for a foggy mirror. But then you're the creepy ghost that's hanging out in the shower.
I always keep a foggy mirror nearby at all times.
Yeah?
so I can look at myself.
Oh, gotcha. In a clear, unobstructed way.
As long as my silhouette is there, and I know that it's me that I'm looking at, even if I can't fully see myself, I'm okay with it. As long as I'm still.
Is this like you're checking to make sure you still exist, and this is your way of you have some sort of panic?
This is me tying it back to you saying earlier in the episode that I always have to keep looking at myself.
I understand that, but now I'm thinking I'm understanding a little bit more as to why you have this need, and it's not vanity.
Oh, you want to know why I do? Okay.
It's not so much vanity; it's more that you have this sort of delusion or panic that you no longer exist, and you.
Well, yeah. As soon as I can't see myself anymore, then I know I've become a ghost.
Right. Exactly. And you start knocking things over.
To try to get my own attention at that point.
So then are you seeking out a foggy mirror in order to send a message to the living? But then you see yourself and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm still alive. Is the foggy mirror there so that you can send a message after you die and become a ghost?
It's in case I need to, yeah. It's in case if I look in the mirror and I no longer see that I'm there, I no longer see my silhouette, then I can quickly write a message. I don't have to get somebody to turn on the water and wait. And even though for some reason I can touch stuff and manipulate things, I could just turn the water on myself.
Again, it's all varying amounts of energy that are required to manipulate the environment around you. So writing, lightly brushing or running your finger along a foggy mirror to wipe away parts of the fogged up part, the condensation, in order to spell something out, is probably going to take less energy and effort and force than turning on a shower or hot water.
Yeah.
So
it's I don't know why I just thought of the fact that it's like if ghosts have the energy and they can muster up the ability to like move chairs and knock over picture frames and do all this different stuff to try to get your attention. Just want to yell at a ghost. Just pick up a pen. Just write down whatever it is you're trying to say to me. Or here's my keyboard is open. I'll pull up Notepad. Just type it out. You have the ability to move stuff around. You should be able to clearly type a couple letters down on a thing.
Well, hold on.
It turns out they're foreign and I can't understand what they're typing.
No. Yeah. No, we know that most ghosts are from the Victorian era because of this type of clothing they're always wearing. They're not familiar with keyboards. You need to hand them a quill and ink, a little jar of ink and a quill in order for them to write something down. They can't even figure out a clicking function on a pen, even though they're observing us all the time.
There are no modern ghosts.
So, but ghosts are weird. There's obviously weird.
Ghosts are weird, dude. They're so weird. Every time I run into one, I'm just like, dude, fucking avoid that ghost. That ghost is fucking weird. You ever bump into a ghost at a party and you're just like, that guy's weird.
And like you notice him at first and you like try to avoid him because like you don't want that encounter. And he sees you and he comes rushing over. He leaves the conversation he's already in to say, oh, I'll be right back in 5 minutes, and then calls your name out from across the room. There's no avoiding it after that. You turn and you sigh. Then you turn around and you got to go, hey, good to see you.
Yeah, long time no see.
Reginald!
When was that? What was it, 10 years ago that I was at your funeral?
Yeah. What's been going on?
How have you been? How are the kids?
You don't know. I hope.
Boy,
you probably see him more now than when you were alive, huh? Ooh, wait, sorry, too soon.
Yeah, I got to go get something to drink. You don't need anything. Yeah,
no, what am I thinking?
I'm gonna, I'll see you around though. Oh, you're gonna come with. You're gonna come with me to the. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah.
So my job's just going steady. Nothing crazy to report there. So what do you do? Like, you got yourself a family you kind of mess with, or like some kind of, you hang out at a hotel room? I don't know. What are you doing these days?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I think I'm getting a phone call. Hold on. It's a missus.
I gotta take this.
Whoa. Oh, really? Oh, he fell. Okay, hold on. Yep. Kid fell down the stairs.
Super no need for you to actually put your phone to your face.
I know. I grabbed it. I'm like, what am I doing? and then I leaned over away from the mic to start talking into it, like I was trying to have an active conversation. Yeah, that went a little too real.
Dude, Sean is committed.
I am
to
method.
improv.
I'm method.
He is a method improver. Holy cow! I mean, I was pulled in. I feel like that's how you would have actually acted in that situation, having bumped into a ghost that you didn't want to talk to.
And the thing that sucks about that is then you have to leave the party, and you might have wanted to stay.
Right.
Yeah. Why is it that? I mean, someone invited that. Did someone invite that ghost, or did the ghost just show up?
I mean, that's a tough call because it's like you can't really. Even if you didn't invite it, if it shows up, it's not like you can kick it out.
Well, you can call an extra. Maybe someone also invited an exorcist, but that's only if someone.
Well, that's possessions.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. But there are people that will like not to exorcise someone from a possession, but they'll exorcise from a space too.
Yeah,
they'll do some ritual and say
same thing. I think that's blessing. Like that's to bless it, like. Come in and blessing your home or whatever to rid it of any evil spirits. But if this ghost isn't evil, he's just fucking annoying and boring. Reginald, was it?
Reginald, yeah. Yes, Reginald was his name. His name was Reginald Paulson.
Oh.
You know, so
Robert's
obviously,
brother.
Yeah. So here's what's so kind of similar in the same vein of people honoring Taylor Hawkins with a song that he didn't write or be a part of writing.
Right.
Once Meatloaf passed away, so many people were like, his name was Robert Paulson. It's like, no, that was a character he played. You're not honoring Meatloaf himself. Say his real name. So,
yeah.
The funny thing is, he acted in that movie and he played that role in that movie. I would argue that he's more well known as a musician than his one role in the movie Fight Club.
Yeah.
So to honor him with that one, not to reference his musical work of his catalog of songs,
right?
He's not being tributed to why people playing Meatloaf music. They're just calling him his character's name in the movie Fight Club.
Right. I think it would have been maybe a more fitting tribute if everybody would have been like, I don't remember what his real name is. Which I feel really bad about it. But Wikipedia Meatloaf and see what it gives me.
Oh, you might get hungry.
Yeah, it shows me the food.
Yeah. But they could say he's a real he was a real bat out of hell. They could say, right. I bet you he was credited as Meatloaf in like movies too.
Marvin Lee Aday. So if everybody would have been like his name is Marvin Aday as a tribute, would have been kind of cool.
That would have been cool, but they really screwed it up. They screwed it up big time. They didn't want to do the hard deep dive research that you just did.
Yeah, the 14 seconds of research I just did to look up his actual name.
The funny thing is, if one person tweeted that, people would have been like, "Who the hell's that?"
Right.
So I don't know if it would have caught on. Only if everyone who read that would have gotten curious enough to look them up and say, "Oh, that's Meatloaf. I get it.
Right.
The Fight Club thing. Only his real name." So this is why Marvin Aday still hangs around and haunts the world in Victorian clothing.
Right. Yeah.
And he lost all knowledge of modern technology, and now he's mentally in the Victorian.
Maybe that's it.
Well, maybe they're all.
Maybe that's why. Yeah. That's why all the ghosts are wearing Victorian clothing, because it's just for whatever reason that time period was like. That's where the ghosts are in the evolutionary chain or whatever, in the advancement chain of the world. So like in the distant future, it's going to be people from our area. Like everybody will be looking like they're from our area with their ghost phones and stuff.
So it'll be just
ghost
like
tablets.
It'll just be just like a retro comeback type of thing, like when the 90s style of dress came back. This will be or like a lot of times when music and movies from America don't reach other parts of the world until years later.
Right.
We're just catching up to where we were.
Mm-hmm.
So is that,
it's kind of weird though. I mean, it works both ways. I think we see a lot of the rest of the world's movies way late too.
Oh, probably. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a one way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
we get everything else before it's made.
Yeah. We get everything pre-production.
Yeah. So we can steal it and make it before they do.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, I think we need to find you another movie to watch soon.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. We both need to do a movie at some point. We need to like find like a Bollywood movie to watch. Those things are crazy.
Oh yeah. So you want to have us both watch something we've never seen?
Maybe.
And discuss it.
But I feel like I want to do that as like we need to do that when we can get together.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could do like watch it and do like a live commentary while we're watching it or something.
That would be tough if we don't want any audio unless we're listening in headphones and we don't want the audio to come through, because that would be an editing nightmare.
Yeah. And typically editing's already a nightmare. Good content, Sean. Anywho,
it's like the time I was doing like mouth trumpet or something. I was just making some noise.
It's like that time you were doing mouth trumpet.
I think there was some time on some episode where I was just going like I was just doing that for a bit.
Oh, I know there was one episode where you were writing. We were talking about you writing the song that's called "Work in Progress."
Yes,
maybe it was that.
Yeah, I think that was it.
How is that coming, by the way?
It's coming along,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not finished yet. It's not done.
Oh no, of course not. Better not be.
Work in progress.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.
Next Tuesday.
There it is.
Bye.
Bye.
We are on TikTok now, which makes us even cooler. HS Famous. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HSFamousPod. Email us directly at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. We have Patreon too, but you'll never go there. Altogether, our hearts beat as one.